In order to demonstrate how ludicrous it is to believe that one creature could evolve into a completely different kind, I want to look at just 4 of the many changes required to transform a fish into an amphibian, a creature that, at least part of the time, was walking, eating, breathing, hearing, seeing on dry land. So the first change I want to look at is in the heart. Fish have what is called a 2-chambered simple heart. So according to evolution, in order to transform this heart into the more complex 3-chambered heart of amphibians, over millions of years, either before birth or during their lives, creatures were having vital components in and around their hearts, moved around and redesigned by genetic changes. The heart valve, arteries, veins, muscles, the whole circulatory system was completely redesigned. And remember, every single change has to be beneficial in order for it to be perpetuated. What could be beneficial about having your heart messed around with? This is ludicrous. The second change is in the eyes. Creatures that are living on dry land would have had to have their eyes adapted. So look at this citation from Wikipedia. So the focal length of the lens altered, eyelids developed, and tear ducts evolved. Doesn't this strain credibility? Is this science or science fiction? Number 3, the neck. Fish don't have necks. However, an animal living on dry land would have to have a viable, mobile neck in order to be able to search for food or protect himself from potential predators. So evolutionary processes separated the shoulders from the head and produced a mobile, viable neck. Everything neatly in place, arteries, veins, muscles, nerves, bones. And finally, what happened to the hyomandibula? Well, it migrated. From its position around the area of the jaw, it moved up into the ear and became a bone essential for hearing that transmits sound waves into the inner ear. Now actually he didn't want to migrate because he had to take his wife with him, and he said it was better down below, I couldn't hear her so well. Anyway, they set up home in what was then no man's land, and etymologists have traced back to this long gone era the source of the English word pion ears. By the way, if you are wondering if fish evolved into amphibians, why are there today still fish? Why didn't they all evolve? Well, they've thought about that one, and it seems that only those fish that had a survival advantage, environmental pressure that was causing them to evolve, they were the ones that developed arms, legs, had their ears, eyes, hearts, stomachs changed. The others were happy to remain as fish in the sea. Now let's look at a few phenomena outside in nature from the standpoint of evolution. According to the theory of evolution, there is no plant, flower or tree that did not evolve from the same simple cells that human beings eventually evolved from. Every leaf contains millions of cells. Within each cell, a complex miniature factory. There are 2 different theories regarding the ancestry of birds. One is that they evolved from theropod dinosaurs. Other experts say that this is totally impossible and that they evolved from some small crocodile-like creature that lived in trees. Either way, reptile scales turned into feathers, the feathers turned into wings, and these newly evolved birds learned how to fly. Evolution, says Richard Dawkins, enables us to be intellectually fulfilled atheists. Bees, according to Wikipedia, evolved from wasps. The evolution literature is full of pure speculation that is presented as if it were proven scientific fact. Despite their tiny brains, bees are able to calculate the shortest distances between feeding sites, faster than a computer. There are in fact thousands of phenomena in nature that totally uproot the naive Darwinian idea that creatures further down the imaginary tree of life are less complex than those higher up. There are, for example, insects that have more sophisticated visual abilities than humans. Bees see ultraviolet and polarized light from the sun, enabling them to calculate the sun's position, even when they are looking in the opposite direction. Honeybees have on their heads glands that produce a substance known as royal jelly. In fact, without royal jelly, there would be no honeybees. The larvae that develop from the eggs laid by the queen bee are fed by the worker bees. For the first 3 days, they are fed royal jelly, thereafter a mixture of regular honey and pollen. If, however, the worker bees decide that the time has come to produce a new queen bee, they feed one larva large amounts of royal jelly without changing its diet. Thereby, in a manner that is a mystery to scientists, a queen bee is produced with all her unique characteristics, including the potential to lay up to 2,000 eggs in one day. Now, how could all this be explained by evolution? Worker bees can never be produced unless other worker bees are already present to feed the larvae. All bees are born from the queen bee, but the queen bee, to be produced, must have royal jelly provided by worker bees. There are thousands of phenomena in the living world that could never be explained through evolution. Nevertheless, we are told that there is a convergence of evidence that is so compelling that no rational thinking person can deny the fact that evolution is true. So in part 3, we'll look at some of this evidence. Bye for now.